It's easy to scroll past headlines. Another priest killed, another student missing. But behind each one is a name, a face, a life that once laughed, served, and loved God with everything. Let's go back all the way to 2009. Vivian Uchi Ugu was just 14, bright and brave. She was deeply devoted. However, on November 15th in Edo State, armed robbers stormed her family home. They tried to defile her. She refused. She resisted with everything she had, and for that, she was killed. Vivian died defending her dignity. Her body lay in a pool of blood, but her soul spoke volumes. The church would later open her cause for sainthood, declaring her a servant of God. A teenage martyr in modern Nigeria. Now fast forward to 2020, and the world met a young seminarian who would move the nation. Nadi, 18 years old, was studying at Good Shepherd Seminary in Kaduna. On January 8th, he and 3 others were abducted by armed men. Days passed. Families prayed. The others were eventually freed, but Michael wasn't. His body was found on February 1st, and when the killers were caught, what they said was chilling. Michael wouldn't stop preaching to us. He kept telling us to repent, so we killed him. Think about that. He knew they could take his life, but he still preached. Later that same year, December 27th, 2020, Bishop Moses Chikwe, the auxiliary bishop of Owerri, was kidnapped along with his driver. For days it felt like the Michael Nadi nightmare all over again. Social media exploded. Hashtag Pray for Bishop Chikwe was everywhere. The news got all the way to the Vatican. Pope Francis invited Catholics all over the world to pray for Bishop Moses Chikwe. Thankfully, he was rescued alive, but the message was loud and clear. No one was safe anymore, not even bishops. By 2022, things didn't slow down. If anything, the attacks became bolder. June 26, 2022, Father Christopher Odia, a parish priest in Edo State, was on his way to celebrate morning mass. He never made it. Gunmen kidnapped him at the church gate and murdered him shortly after. A priest, on a Sunday, on his way to mass, killed in cold blood. And then came 2023, a year many in the Nigerian church are still grieving. January 15th, Father Isaac Achi was attacked in his parish residence in Niger State. The attackers didn't just break in, they set the building on fire. And Father Achi was burned alive. Can you imagine the horror? the flames rising, the world outside silent. Father Achi was gone. And it didn't stop there. On June 7th, Father Charles Igiji, who had only been ordained a few months earlier, was shot on his way to a parish assignment in Edo State. A young priest, still glowing with the fire of his first masses, gunned down. And then came October 18, 2023. Brother Godwin Eze, a 31-year-old Benedictine novice, was kidnapped with 2 other monks from the monastery in Kwara State. He wasn't famous. He wasn't a bishop. He was a quiet, humble monk. And yet his death speaks volumes about the risk of living your faith out loud in Nigeria today. By 2024, the killings had become familiar, and still each one cut deeper. On December 26, just one day after Christmas, Father Tobias Chukwujeku Okonkwo was murdered in Anambra State. No suspects, just gone. And then came Ash Wednesday 2025. Father Sylvester Okechukwu was taken from his residence on March 4th in Kaduna. By the next morning, the start of Lent, he was dead. He didn't even get to place ashes on foreheads that day. Over 15 years. 9 lives told here. Hundreds more untold. This isn't just a list. This is a memorial. A prayer. Because every name you have heard in this video had dreams, families. They made vows. They said yes to God and paid the price with their lives. And here's the thing. Despite all this, they haven't broken. Catholics in Nigeria still fill the pews. Priests still say Mass. Seminarians still apply. And people like Vivian, like Michael, like Brother Godwin, remind us that faith isn't always pretty. Sometimes it bleeds. These were the darkest moments in Nigerian Catholic history, or at least some of the darkest moments. And if their stories moved you, say a prayer, light a candle, keep their memory alive. Because silence didn't save them, but remembering just might save the next one.